Well, see, this is the kind of thinking that we've engaged in for the last 4 decades. This is what gives us the retire early lifestyle, and it allows us to live the way we want to live so that we can do the things we want to do.
Oh my gosh.
Where's the
You won't let him
cheesecake?
cut it. He's that selfish.
Yeah. Good? Yeah? No, you don't like it? Sammy doesn't like the cheesecake.
What? Yeah.
No, she's just kidding.
All right, welcome back. We're still in our $300 apartment here in Cuenca, Ecuador, our Ecuador pad. And it occurs to me that retire early lifestyle is all about how you want to spend your time doing what you want to be doing. You know, that's a really important focus point, because when I think about like how I used to spend my time when I was living in the States, and I've said many times that our lifestyle has been the early retire early lifestyle for many years, since our 20s, even in the States. And when I remember like what I used to do and how I used to spend my time, and one of the things that I really enjoyed doing was spending time out in the garden. You know, I'd be trimming my fig trees, and then in the spring the fruits would come in, and I had 2 kinds of fig trees. I had brown turkey, which is the dark ones, and then I had the Italian figs, which we did run into when we were in Italy. The Italian figs. Over there they call them sweet figs, and they are really, really sweet. And it turns out that the rest of the family really liked the brown turkey, and I was the only one that liked the Italian figs when we were in the States. So I had a whole tree to myself. And I mean, can you imagine? You just imagine that I was always filling up these bowls and trying to eat all of them because I hated throwing them out. So, but then I think about, you know, like being in this apartment and not having any of that dirt playtime, being in touch with nature in that way. But there's other ways to be in touch with nature, because we go for walks, you know, on the river. We go for river walks. We didn't do there. I mean, when we went for walks, it was only in the spring and fall, because the weather was really nice. And then in the summer and in the winter, we rode this stationary, what was it called? I don't know, NordiTrack or something. We had this stationary walking, jogging thing that we did indoors. We made a video when we first came to Ecuador about electronics to bring to Ecuador. I had these speakers that I had for 10 years, and I paid like $3 at a yard sale. And here, of course, there's no such thing. You have to go to the store, and they're like $176. As you know, we've been traveling around, right? So we end up discarding everything. You know, all of these things that you accumulate, and you become it kind of forces you into minimalism. And travel, you know, and especially these airlines in Europe, they don't let you carry anything if you know, because the savings are just amazingly tremendous. And when you can fly for $25, you're just going to dump all your stuff, because why would you spend hundreds of dollars when you can spend $25, right? You can just buy your stuff back, which is what we try to do. So we came back to Ecuador, and I bought these speakers downtown, and they said Maxell on them. So I thought, well, Maxell used to be a good brand back in the day, so I said, well, $12, okay. All along you're just thinking how annoying it is that you had these speakers that you bought for $3 at a yard sale, that you carried around abroad with you and you had for 10 years and would have lasted another 10 years. And then I buy these speakers, they say Maxell, I bring them home and they're blown out the first 2 days. I mean, it's just, you know, mind-boggling. And then you have the situation with, I made a video, you know, retire in Florida on 1400. And I said to them in the video, yeah, people complain because it's too hot. And people said that, oh, it's too hot. 7 months out of the year, gotta have air conditioner. You know, but then you get here And well, you got the elevation, it's too high. It's too hot over there, it's too high over here. The elevation's so high you can't sleep. In Italy, I was sleeping just fine. You know, we went to Italy and I was sleeping. But Italy in 2020 became inhospitable. Something that anybody with a discerning mind would decipher and say, well, you know, can't stay here. So frustrations in life, they can kind of, you know, be discouraging sometimes. And so the sleep situation here, I did some studying and realized that vitamin D, because they're talking about this 2020 thing with the Latins and all, them being low on vitamin D and that kind of thing. Well, it turns out that vitamin D also helps you sleep. So I've been drinking vitamin D, you know, because I'm getting some local herbs, and I'm making this special local herb, and it's like loaded with vitamin D, and it does help me sleep a little bit better. Things aren't perfect, but it does help. But I'm just thinking about like somebody else that would just go run to the doctor and maybe get a prescription, or maybe they would resort to, you know, non-pharmaceutical street type solutions like CBD oil, which I tried that in, it was legal in Bulgaria. CBD oil was legal in Bulgaria. I did buy some. It was pretty expensive, like $70 for a little flask, about that little, but at least it was legal there. So did it help? It seemed to help the first couple of nights, and then it was just an expensive solution that if it ends up not working, you just spend all that money on it. Now these herbs here in Ecuador, they're local herbs, so for $1 I get some herbs. I make tea, I drink it, and it helps me sleep. And so it's just that do-it-yourself thing. But I thought I'd try the CBD oil over there in Bulgaria, and it didn't work out too well. Matter of fact, I ended up leaving it behind. And then, you know, as we age, we get to where we get too sedentary, and we need to, well, I need to get physical. I need to keep in shape. You know, I have these weights and things that I swing around, and weights that I lift and this kind of thing. But with the travel, you end up leaving things behind, right? And in Bulgaria,
and you do a lot of exercising. I do some of that, but not as much. He does a daily exercise routine.
right? And in Bulgaria, we were right in the middle of a lockdown, so that you would walk down the street in Bulgaria, and they had these huge, just huge buildings with all this just large amount of glass, and you could see inside the buildings, even though they were closed because of the lockdowns. All of the exercise equipment, they were gymnasiums. And it's amazing in Bulgaria because they got these huge gymnasiums on one corner, and you go down about 3 blocks and there's another huge gymnasium. It's like when you go to the strip malls and you've got these, every strip mall's got its shopping and its stores. Well, in Bulgaria, every strip mall's got its gymnasium, and they're huge. But they were all closed. And so just to say that, I mean, that's not even a solution for me, but a lot of people, they want to join gyms and do this kind of thing like that. You know, you can join a gym, and we can join a gym here. I was watching some videos, and I was watching this guy in a foreign country, I think it was in Asia somewhere, and the guy's sitting there making these weights for weightlifting out of cement. And it's amazing how creative he was getting with the cement, and he was making regular weights and dumbbells, barbells, but he wasn't making any club bells. And I said in the comments, I said, well, great video, now show us how to make club bells. He never did do it, and I thought to myself, well, if I was gonna make club bells, how would I do it? And so I just kind of went to sleep on that for a few nights, and one day I woke up with this idea on how to make these club bells. And I'm just saying that I have made club bells here before out of plumbing pipes. Pretty nice and heavy. They look nice. They look like clubs, just like club bells that you buy online. And they cost hundreds of dollars online. And I was pretty proud of myself because I made these club bells out of plumbing pipes. But they still, because I had to go to the store, the hardware store, to get these plumbing pipes, they still cost me like $30 to $60. And if you go to the store here, they cost the same amount or a little bit more maybe. And so I decided, well, because when I left last time, I left my club bells behind at the other house because you can't carry that kind of stuff on planes or anywhere really. So I decided, I went ahead and made my cement club bells, and they cost me like $1.25. People scoff at this kind of stuff. You know, you make your own this and that and say, why don't you just go to the store? But the thing is that this is the kind of solution thinking that is a recurring theme. It's the solution thinking. And like, for example, you know, we like to go out to eat, but lately, you know, you go out and every time we go out, it's like you're in a nightmare. Because the society just doesn't look the same as it used to. You know, and you've got these people that people say, oh, well, you know, the mask is for other people, it's not for you. But then, you know, why doesn't anybody tell these young people that are walking down the street when there's nobody around and they still have their mask on, they're all masked up, but there's nobody around. If it's for other people, nobody's told them that it's for other people. So that makes no sense. And so every time you go out, it's like you're in this nightmare because you're just looking at these people that just don't have any clue what they're doing, right? And it's like you're in this nightmare dream. We don't go out to eat that much anymore like we used to. You used to see all these videos where maybe we always go out to Muerzo, this and that, but we don't do it. So what do? Well, we make specialty food here, right here in the house. We enjoy being here in the kitchen. I even help in the kitchen. I help make sourdough bread. And, you know, we make our own pizza. You know, pizza here costs just as much as in the States. It's just like a gourmet food here. We used to go out to downtown, some restaurant, Italian place, get a pizza once in a while, but now we just make the pizza here. We make specialty Italian food, gnocchis, everything, whatever we want. We just make it right here. And so the point is, all of these things, you know, making my own exercise equipment. Why didn't I just go to the store and spend the 60 bucks? What's the big deal? It's 60 bucks. It's not like 6 grand. Well, see, this is the kind of thinking that we've engaged in for the last 4 decades. This is what gives us the retire early lifestyle, and it allows us to live the way we want to live so that we can do the things we want to do. Whereas if every time you need something you go out and spend retail for it and go to the store and go to the institutions and give everybody money, that just keeps you tied to a job you don't like. It keeps you to a lifestyle that you don't really want. And it just keeps you dreaming about someday instead of making things happen right here in the here and now. You've seen this. We're Americans and we're consumers. The only thing that matters is how much money we make, and we want to make as much of it and more of it as possible. When we need something, we simply go and give it to corporations and institutions, and they provide everything we need. So where does making something yourself come into that? You know, we're really thankful that we traveled the world, moved abroad, did the things we wanted to do while we were still young. I know a lady that moved to Ecuador a few years ago, and then a few months later she died. Another lady moved down here, and 3 years later she died. So we're just really thankful that we're able to have this kind of vision in life to do the things we want to be doing. You know, like living in a 30-foot travel trailer full-time with children when we were in our 30s. You know, because when it comes down to it, it's not just about money, it's about your life. And it's like sometimes it makes you wonder, with all the things that are going on in the world at this time, it's like, why are we here? It's like, why are we here? With all the fraud that's going on everywhere, fraud in the election, global fraud. The fraud is global. You know, with all of the evil that's around in the world around us. So I just wanted to encourage you and present a different view. I had a guy say this to me, you help people retire early. Yes, I do help some people retire early. But you see, it's all about doing what you want to be doing. And helping people is something I've been doing for many, many years in one capacity or another. I like to help people. And so I hope I've encouraged you to think outside the box and realize that the choices that we make have absolutely everything to do with the lifestyle we're able to live and whether we're able to live the retire early lifestyle right now. Thanks for watching.